Yo, chat. Let's dock up. You know what time it is. YouTubers that became murderers. This should be some this should be some eye-opening shit. This should be some crazy shit. Alright? Now, when I think about it, nothing's coming up to mind right now, but I'm tired. And so we about to see. Damn. What YouTubers became murderers, and they gotta be big YouTubers for it to be known. Not saying a smaller YouTuber killing somebody is not like, you know what I'm saying? So you feel me? RP to all the victims.
59-year-old American scientist Suzanne Eaton was a 59-year-old American scientist who was working as a professor of molecular biology in Dresden, Germany. A big part of her job at this institute was to travel around the world and hold conferences on the latest developments in her field. In July of 2019, she traveled to the scenic Greek island of Crete for one of these conferences, not knowing that this was going to be her last, and that the person responsible for her end would be caught because of his videos on YouTube.
Wow.
The incident happened on July 2nd.
There's no way that nigga's a known YouTuber. That's just that was just a dumb nigga right there. I could tell he's just a retarded nigga.
After a conference, Suzanne spent time with her peers and played the public piano in the venue's lobby before saying her goodbyes and heading out to her hotel in the afternoon. Sadly, this was the last time anyone saw Suzanne alive. Her coworkers noticed her absence when she didn't show up for the second conference scheduled for 6 p.m. that evening. It wasn't like her to skip events out of the blue. Something wasn't right. A fact that became increasingly clear when over 24 hours passed without anyone hearing from her. So, on July 3rd, her colleagues called the police to check on her, hoping she was simply sick or something similar. However, when officers arrived at her hotel room, no one answered the door. They acquired a spare key from the hotel management and went inside, only to find the room completely empty and undisturbed. All of Suzanne's belongings were also still in the room. The only things missing were her running shoes and a set of exercise clothes. Those who knew her immediately understood what this meant. You see, in addition to her academic prowess and piano expertise, Suzanne was also an athlete at heart. She was a double black belt in Taekwondo, and despite her age, loved going on a run every day. Knowing this helped investigators narrow down what might have happened to her. Put simply, she likely went on a run soon after returning to her hotel on July 2nd, and something went wrong after that. She wasn't super familiar with the area, and to make matters worse, the weather was uncomfortably hot that afternoon. There was a strong possibility she collapsed from the heat or something else along those lines. After putting this together, the Crete police immediately dispatched a search and rescue team in the area surrounding her hotel and around popular running trails. Her family even traveled to Crete and put a €50,000 reward for anyone who could help find Suzanne. Unfortunately, Suzanne was nowhere to be found. That is until 5 days later, on July 8th, when two young men were exploring one of the abandoned World War II Nazi bunkers scattered across Crete. Around 200 meters in, one of them noticed a piece of burlap.
I don't know how niggas can do this, bro. A dark ass cave, and it said it was something about World War II. Probably a bunch of niggas who got blown up in that bitch, and it's probably that shit probably haunted as shit. Niggas be brave, boy. Niggas be brave.
Covering something on the ground. They picked it up from one end to see what was underneath, and what they found was the aftermath of one of the most horrific crimes in Crete's recent history. The burlap was covering the bloody remains of Suzanne Eaton. So a later autopsy report discovered that Suzanne had several broken ribs, multiple fractures throughout her body, a missing ear, and much more. Whatever happened to her,
yo, handle this nigga, bro. Get this nigga handled, gang. A missing ear? This nigga bit her ear off like some Mike Tyson? What the fuck?
Certainly was not an accident. The investigators began searching for clues, and fortunately it didn't take long for them to make their first major breakthrough. A set of car tire tracks leading up to the entrance of the bunker. Analyzing these tracks allowed investigators to find the car responsible for transporting Suzanne's remains to that bunker. It belonged to 27-year-old
freak ass nigga, bro. It's ugly ass Ginobili. I'm sorry, Ginobili. I should have not said Ginobili. I'm not gonna. I would never compare a fucking creep ass weirdo as fucking loser retard ass nigga like this to Ginobili. My bad, Ginobili. But fuck this nigga. Fucking lumpy ass head, milk dud head ass boy.
Skakis, a local sheep farmer. But when questioned, Giannis feigned ignorance and claimed that him driving through that area on that day was nothing more than a coincidence. He went as far as to say that he didn't even know about the existence of that bunker, a lie that would eventually lead to his arrest. You see, Giannis had a dream to become a successful YouTuber. He started a channel with his own name in 2012 and began posting videos. However,
the fuck is this language? This is German?
if you go to his channel today, all you'll find are 3 videos of him performing an ancient Chinese martial art and meditation technique called Qigong. That's because a couple days before Suzanne's body was discovered, Giannis deleted every other video on his channel. And once authorities recovered some of these deleted videos, it became clear why. You see, most of these deleted videos involved Giannis exploring abandoned World War II bunkers, including the one where Suzanne's remains were discovered. This contradiction gave the authorities the go-ahead to formally arrest him on July 15. It also allowed them to investigate him further, and the evidence they discovered was overwhelming. As it turned out, the land where this bunker was located was owned by Giannis's family. Investigators also found traces of Suzanne's blood in his car's trunk. When confronted with this evidence, Giannis cracked and told the whole story. According to him, he saw Suzanne running down the road and something came over him. He hit her with his car twice before putting her in his car, driving to the bunker, and ending her.
It's fucking nigga got psychosis or some shit? What do you mean something just came over him? A demon possessed you or some shit? You just see a lady just walking, you just decide to hit her. Bro, be safe out there, gang. There's some fucking crackheads out there, bro. Some weirdos, bro. Some nutty ass people out there, gang.
Life there. He later changed his story to where he was compelled to commit this crime by a demon. Unfortunately for him, the jury didn't buy this one bit and sentenced him to life in prison without the possibility of parole in 2020. Now, this should have been the end of Giannis's story, but from what I've seen, there's more to his actions than just this one crime he was convicted of. The thing is, Giannis presented his vile act as a crime of opportunity, something he did completely out of nowhere. However, there's evidence to suggest that Giannis might be a full-blown serial killer. For instance, he was apparently detained by the police twice before, once for arson and once for animal cruelty, both of which are well-known early behaviors of serial killers. After his arrest, several other women also came forward, testifying that he had tried to run them over with his car as well in the past. So, Suzanne was more than likely not his first victim. However, the most solid evidence against Giannis is in one of the deleted videos he uploaded to YouTube. In it, we can see him showing some very human-looking bones scattered throughout the same bunker Suzanne was discovered in. These bones were never discovered by the authorities, suggesting they might have been removed by Giannis to hide evidence. But what makes this truly disturbing is what his friend says at one point in the same video.
What did he just say?
This roughly translates into, "Is this where you left that old guy?"
Wow.
Insinuating that Giannis had disposed of one of his previous victims in the same bunker before. And if that is the case, one can only wonder how many other people Giannis has killed over the years.
Get the nigga who know too. He'll probably tell you.
Simply Manic 6075 was a YouTube.
So these is just, I mean, 5.7K. 5.7K. It's more than what I got. But I was thinking like big top YouTubers, but niggas like that probably won't be that dumb enough to like this.
Channel owned and operated by 24-year-old Samantha Wolford. She lived in the small community of Monticello, Texas, with her husband Ernest Lee Ibarra, aka Ernie, and their 5 children.
That nigga look like. But he looked like that one nigga from, I think, Freddy versus Jason. Nigga who couldn't sleep. Nigga was nutty. He look like that nigga. It look like he about to, you know what I'm saying? That book bag is not too far from him. Let me chill. Let me stop. I'm joking. JK.
Children. She usually made videos about her day-to-day life and other random topics. Her story began in 2008 when she was at the lowest point of her life. She'd recently become the single mother of a pair of twins and had no love interest in her life. Yeah. That's when she met Ernie at a local tattoo shop, and the two hit it off right from the get-go, eventually getting in a relationship and starting a family together. In one of her videos, Samantha described the day she met Ernie as the happiest day of her life. Together, they were blessed with 3 more children, including 1 more pair of twins.
So what the hell is gonna
Raising
go wrong?
5 kids was a challenge, but Ernie made it work by taking a second job in pizza delivery. So, while they had endured tough times together, Samantha, Ernie, and their 5 children appeared to be the perfect loving family. However, while being a stay-at-home mother was all she could do at the time, Samantha still had a dream of becoming a famous actress one day.
Okay.
I've always wanted to be an actress. I think it is so much fun. I've been extras in movies. I've had small parts in
You might want to change the hairstyle because, like, you're gonna be like set in one role, and that role is gonna be like a emo, hippie, like shit like that. Like change the dye, hair sense, all that. Because you're gonna be. I forgot what's the word. Role. What's the? I forgot what it's called.
like
When you
short
stuck in
films.
one role,
It is
you
so
can never
much
do
fun
something
and it
diverse.
is so beautiful. It is one of the most amazing forms of art ever to be able to express yourself that way. I think it's amazing.
So, in October 2010, she created her YouTube channel and started posting videos, hoping to become a popular YouTuber and fulfill her dream on the internet instead. And things were going surprisingly okay in the
Vampire
beginning.
Diaries and
Samantha would
Batman?
post new videos whenever she had something new to say.
Dead baby pills. 5-year-old trans. What the hell? Miami zombie attack. Hunger Games review. Skype.
And while most of her videos struggled to get past 100 views at the time, the few viewers she had were enough to keep her going. But as time passed on, her passion for making videos turned into an obsession. She started spending more of her time on making videos than her family, putting even more pressure on an already stressed out Ernie. Around 2014, she also started accusing Ernie of hurting her in her videos, hinting at just how bad their relationship was going. But then, after posting a seemingly random video in March of 2014, Samantha mysteriously vanished from the internet. Maybe she lost interest in YouTube or just wanted to focus on her family again. No one knew exactly why she quit so abruptly. Then, on the 20th of February 2015, viewers finally received the update they were waiting for. Unfortunately, it was far more tragic than anyone could have imagined. It started with the Texas police receiving a call from one of Samantha's aunts asking them to save her niece's life.
Titus County 911, what's your emergency?
I have a home invasion. My niece is tied up. I am at the verge of untying my niece at this particular moment.
Okay, she's tied up.
She is tied up and gagged.
And gagged? Is that what you said?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there anybody else there?
Where are the kids?
This bitch, she wanted to be an actor. She thinks this is a fucking movie. She set herself up, tied herself, put the thing in her mouth before she killed the nigga, or after she killed the nigga.
We have 5 small infants asleep.
Apparently, 3 masked men broke into their home in the middle of the night and attacked the couple while they were asleep. The intruders then tied Samantha in her bedroom and after hitting him with a gun a few times, kidnapped Ernie. Samantha somehow managed to get her ties loose enough to call her aunt, who then contacted the police after arriving at Samantha's home herself. By the time officers arrived, Samantha's aunt had set her free from the restraints. The kids were fortunately safe as well. However, what made this whole situation strange was that the intruders didn't take anything else from their home besides Ernie. And from the people who knew him personally, Ernie wasn't the type of guy to make enemies with dangerous people. Put simply, investigators sensed something fishy with the whole situation. But all that paled in comparison to the main objective, which was to save Ernie as soon as possible. Unfortunately, Samantha didn't know anything that could give investigators their first clue. With no other option, the officers took Samantha to the station for further questioning, hoping to extract any useful information they could from her. But what none of them expected was that Samantha would change up her story completely after entering the interrogation room. Where before she didn't know anything about the assailants, now she had the name of a potential suspect, John Rebel. As Samantha's story goes, she was talking to her friend about Ernie's supposed attacks on Samantha, when suddenly a man with the pseudonym John Rebel overheard their conversation and started talking about how a man shouldn't treat a woman that way and that he was going to handle the situation. Well, as it turned out, the name John Rebel actually belonged to someone, a man named Jonathan Sanford. The police found and arrested John not long after.
That's fucked up, bro. Some random nigga, and you just gonna blame it on him? It's fucked up.
After Samantha gave out his name, right alongside his 2 accomplices, Jose Ponce and Octavius Rhymes. Surprisingly, Jonathan put up little to no resistance and immediately.
Wait. No. Okay. Okay, my bad. I thought it was you, but I feel like you made them do it. You made them do it.
Immediately confessed to kidnapping Ernie. He also confirmed the worst possible outcome, that by the time the police got involved, Ernie was already dead. The three took him to a secluded forest and executed him with one shot to the back of his head.
What the fuck?
However, even after learning all this, one question remained. Why?
Bro,
Why
I'm telling you, she's a part of it. She's a part of it,
would
gang.
three men who didn't even know Ernie kidnap him from his home like that? Every
And it does, I mean, and then if you just look at the title, YouTubers that became murderers, she got them niggas to kill him, which is crazy, bro.
answer to this question pointed back to Samantha,
You
who
killed your
kept
baby
denying
father?
any involvement. Even
You took your child's father out of this world, man. That's crazy.
if the investigators ignored her suddenly remembering the perpetrator's name, there were several other suspicious aspects to her story. Like, how was she able to untie herself enough to call her aunt? Why didn't any of her
Exactly.
neighbors hear the break-in? And why were the kids all sleeping in the same room when usually they're scattered throughout the house? It wasn't long before investigators uncovered undeniable evidence of her direct involvement. This included instruction messages she sent to Octavius when the officers were trying to call Ernie's phone, which he had on him. These read, "Kill his phone, shut that down, ditch phone, move." There was no doubt about it at this point. Samantha was in colluding with her husband's killers. And as the investigation went on, the real story came out as well.
Wow.
Samantha had apparently become addicted to the idea of becoming a famous YouTuber, and her neglect of the kids became a constant source of fighting between the couple. But instead of resolving
So you fighting because you want to become a YouTuber, you just decide to kill your baby father? Because he's telling you to fucking snap out of it and be a mother? Instead of neglecting your children? Like, that shit
the
crazy,
issue
bro.
like a responsible adult, Samantha colluded with her friend's boyfriend to
Like,
hatch
be
a
a mother.
cartoonishly evil scheme to get rid of Ernie. They first wanted to plant hard drugs in his car and get him arrested, but later made the heartless decision that taking his life would be much easier. There's also a chance that Samantha went with the murder plan because it would have brought her more attention on YouTube. She was eventually sentenced to 149 years in
Dumbass
prison for
bitch.
killing her own husband, leaving her 5 children completely orphaned in the
Oh, I'm a widow who's on YouTube famous. You was a nut. You dumb as shit.
process.
Dumbass bitch.
Diana Lovejoy was a successful technical writer living in the town of Carlsbad, California with her husband Greg Mulvihill. However, while her corporate job paid the bills, Diana's true passion was becoming a triathlon athlete and documenting her journey on video,
Well,
resulting
No, you're a killer too.
in her eventually starting her own fitness blog called Lovejoy Fitness and a YouTube channel by the name of Heavy DJ. She started this channel all the way back in
Lock her up.
2008 and over the years used it to document various parts of her life.
She don't like what? Why would she don't look like someone who would kill somebody though? I guess anybody can snap though.
From meeting her parents after a long time to going scuba diving with her husband. At one point, she even tried to become a cooking show host of sorts.
Doesn't that smell nice?
Unfortunately, her channel never really took off, forcing her to eventually cut her losses and move on with her life in March of 2012. Or at least that's what it looked like from the outside. In reality, Diana's reason for abandoning her YouTube channel was kind of wholesome. You see,
Wholesome.
Diana and Greg had been trying for a baby for years by this point.
Damn.
Tragically, Diana had suffered 8 different miscarriages and was quickly losing hope.
Damn.
But then in September of 2012, the two were blessed.
Yo, she kind of look like Walter White's bitch. His wife. Like from Breaking Bad.
Blessed with a perfectly healthy
She
baby
looked like her.
boy, marking an end to their struggle. However, what should have been a moment of celebration started a downward spiral of lies and
That image, I don't know
betrayals,
about this,
eventually
man.
culminating in an assassination attempt. Things
Nigga, what?
lies and betrayals, what should have been a moment of perfectly healthy baby boy, marking an end to their struggle. However, what should have been a moment of celebration started a downward spiral of lies and betrayals, eventually culminating in an
Why?
assassination attempt. Things started going downhill when just a few months after the birth of their son, Greg lost his job. Struggle. However, what should have been a moment of celebration started a downward spiral of lies and betrayals, eventually
Why?
culminating in an assassination attempt. Things started going downhill.
My nigga, y'all should be happy. This should be like another honeymoon or some shit. He just finally got a baby and shit. And now it's about to be assassination?
Hill when just a few months after the birth of their son, Greg lost his job, leaving Diana as the sole breadwinner. The stress of the previous miscarriages, combined with the crushing weight of having to support a family in an extremely expensive city all on her own.
That don't excuse no killing your husband. You know, trying to get him assassinated. That don't excuse that though. I feel you on the stress part, but that don't. I mean, you could just fucking assassinate the nigga.
Spelled disaster for their marriage. It wasn't long before the two were constantly fighting with each other.
Damn.
Things escalated even further on July 9, 2014, when Greg returned home only to see a police officer waiting for him at the door.
What the fuck?
The officer explained that Greg wasn't allowed to enter his own home because, as it turned out, Diana had accused him of attacking both her and their son.
Yo, fuck this bitch. Yo, that's crazy, bro. Like how easy it could be to just lie, and then that just that just ruins you again. Now you looked at it as you beat you. Now she's probably telling the neighbors and shit that you be beating on her and the child. Of course they gonna believe her.
Followed was a nearly 2-year-long divorce mediation, during which the investigators found no evidence supporting Diana's accusations, allowing Greg to get a 50-50 custody of their son. Diana was also ordered to pay $120,000 as a part of their divorce settlement in late 2015.
Damn.
But before the divorce could be finalized, Greg received a phone call from an anonymous number that changed everything. The voice on the other end claimed to be a private investigator Diana had hired recently. And according to this investigator, he already had solid proof of the attack claims Diana had made against Greg. But for some unknown reason, he wanted to help Greg win the case, so he claimed to have left the documents taped to a power pole located on a small hiking trail near Greg's home. Greg naturally found this whole thing pretty suspicious and decided to take one of his friends with him to the pole on the night of September 4th, 2016.
Good IQ.
Sadly, despite his suspicions, he failed to grasp the true intentions of the strangely helpful private detective.
This is 911.
And he got shot. What the friend do?
Has just been shot.
Do you know who shot him?
There's a guy lying down like a sniper.
Yeah, sniper.
We saw the gun.
He got sniped.
6 or 7 times.
When Greg reached the pole, a sniper opened fire on him, shooting him clean through the chest. Fortunately, the bullet missed his heart by mere inches, giving him a second chance at life.
Let's go!
By the time the police arrived, the shooter had already
Dumbass sniper? You don't know where the aim, my nigga? You don't know the precision that hit the nigga in the heart? Stupid ass nigga.
fled the crime scene. But a quick survey of the area allowed the investigators to uncover a pair of towels the shooter left behind. Running a DNA test on these towels led to a man named Weldon McDavid, Diana's shooting instructor. Weldon tried to
Nigga's a shooting instructor. Nigga ass.
deny any involvement at first, but the evidence against him was overwhelming, as after a thorough search, investigators were able to find another set of the same towels at Diana's place as well. They had also received CCTV footage of Diana buying the burner phone Weldon later used to lure Greg into—
What made him, like, how the bitch convince you to do some shit like that, though, gang? She was giving you pussy shit, wasn't she? She was giving you pussy. Niggas pussy whip. Brother, you down bad, gang.
Most importantly,
Brother,
investigators also
bad,
found the
brother.
gun Weldon used on Greg, hidden in the rafters
And you
of his
look
garage.
black. You down
By this
bad,
point, it was
brother.
clear that Diana was the one who wanted to get rid of Greg, likely to avoid
you
paying
down
the
bad,
divorce
brother.
settlement and keep full custody of her son.
Unless she paid you.
Diana and Weldon were arrested for the attempted assassination on Greg Mulvihill
She
and
crazy.
tried for their crimes in November 2017.
Why did he help,
Both were
though?
found guilty, with Diana sentenced to 26 years to life and—
The fuck? The bitch fainted? He was like, you got how many years?
17. Both were found guilty, with Diana sentenced to 26 years to life and
Bitch, you in here for life. Bitch fainting and shit.
Weldon to a harsher 50 years to life. The only silver lining in this entire case is that Greg was able to make a full recovery and is now
Yes.
living with his son.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
The
God,
Gunnar
for
Runar
still being
87
alive.
channel on YouTube seems oddly
God bless him.
wholesome at first glance. It's owned by an Icelandic boy named—
Nah, this nigga look like you touch his brownies or some shit. He getting a knife and putting that shit on your neck, nigga. He holding you at gunpoint. That's the type of look at the neck fat and shit. You touch his nuggets, it's over. You touch his nuggets, it's over.
The Gunnar Runar Sig Torsson and contains a single 3.5-minute video. of him confessing his feelings to the girl he loves.
Oh, damn. This nigga emotional damage. So the girl you like told your fat ass no, couldn't handle it, and then you want to take matters in your own hand and kill the girl. You want to kill you so sensitive you want to kill the bitch.
It translates to English as My Confession to Hildur. In it, he says things like,
Hon är nog nära sko.
It is Iceland. Hildur.
Vi är väl så otroliga glada.
Bitch, nigga, how about you go tell her? The fuck is you recording yourself sending it to her for?
Bara där hon alltid är. Jag hör mycket mer.
The most special human being I've ever met.
Otroliga.
That's Glaze. Stop glazing. I become so incredibly happy only being close to her.
Glad. Bara där hon alltid är. Jag hör mycket mer.
That's all it takes. And this is meant for you because I think I've fallen in love with you.
However, this seemingly heartfelt love letter turned out to be the key to solving one of the most horrific crimes in recent Icelandic history.
No.
And it all led back to Gunnar and the troubled life he had as a child.
Fuck ass name, Gunnar.
You see, Gunnar didn't have a mother growing up, resulting in him getting extremely close with his father. However, on the night of September 20th, 1996, when Gunnar was just 9 years old, his father decided to end it all using a gun.
What the fuck?
Made this already messed up situation even worse was the fact that Gunnar was in the room with his father and witnessed everything.
The nigga killed himself in front of his jit? Nigga was 9. Yo, that's actually okay. I can see why. Okay, I can see why you fucked up, gang. I can see why you fucked up. I can see why. I can see exactly why you
this took
fucked
a
up,
heavy
gang.
toll on Gunnar's mental health.
That
He
will fuck
withdrew
you
from
up.
the world and refused to
see it.
accept his father's death as reality.
That shit's
Everything
crazy.
seemed hopeless for Gunnar.
Nigga
That
murdered
is
himself in
until
front of his jit at 9 years old. That is crazy, gang.
primary school when he met
My nigga couldn't even like RP. Like I don't like, but like my nigga in front of him couldn't go in the closet or some shit. RP, but like damn.
a girl named Hildur and instantly became infatuated with her. He'd admired her throughout school and into adulthood, but never found the courage to make a move, fearing he'd lose his only close friend.
Damn.
However, things changed in 2009 when Hildur got engaged to a man named Hannes. This gave Gunnar the push to do something about his feelings. But given his
Should've
shy
been did, my boy.
personality, he still couldn't confront Hildur directly.
I feel you, though.
So, in March of
Okay, now the video
2009,
makes
he
sense.
created a YouTube channel and uploaded his confession on there. Hildur never reciprocated his feelings, but the
Damn.
two remained friends. Even Hannes, Hildur's now husband, didn't seem to mind Gunnar's company, something he likely regretted deeply just a year later. It all went down on the 14th of August 2010. Hildur was invited to a party that Gunnar was attending as well. But things got a bit out of hand, and Hildur ended up drinking too much and passing out. Given their closeness, the task of getting her home safely was handed to Gunnar. But instead of dropping her off at Hannes' house like he should have, Gunnar took her to his own home. By the time Hildur woke up, it was already morning. She was understandably furious with Gunnar and immediately called one of her friends to drive her home.
Gunnar, what the fuck, Gunnar? Gunnar, what the fuck, man? Yeah, one job, dude. Dude, yeah, one job, dude. Like, that's weird, gang. That's weird, bro.
But nothing could have prepared Hildur for
Why
the
not
horrific
just
scene
take her
she
back to her
witnessed on
crib?
the other side of her front door. Her
fuck does that
husband
mean?
Hannes was lying on the top of the staircase near their bedroom, submerged in a pool of his own blood. She ran.
What? Wow, so that nigga, that was his plan all along. He brought you to his crib, and he went to go kill the nigga. That's crazy.
outside and called the authorities.
That's crazy.
Sadly, it was already too late. Hannes had received over 20 stab wounds on his body, from
20?
his arms and legs to the back of his neck, and was long
Damn.
dead by the time Hildur found him. Given his condition, his death was ruled a
R.I.P.
homicide, and investigators wasted no time in looking for the killer. And while they initially suspected one of his business rivals of committing this horrific crime, it didn't take long for investigators to find Gunnar's video confession to Hildur and bring him in for questioning. Gunnar denied knowing anything about it and was eventually let go due to lack of evidence. Fortunately, not all hope was lost, because not long after that, investigators found a bloody shoe print next to Hannes's bed.
Dumbass
Looking
nigga.
deeper
Lock
into this
this nigga
print
up,
revealed
bro.
that it belonged to a pair of limited edition
dumbass
Adidas
Gunnar.
shoes. At the time, there were only 18 of these specific shoes in
Nigga
all of
fucking
Iceland.
emotional.
And
Couldn't
Gunnar
handle
just
that
so
if
happened
the bitch didn't want him. The bitch, man.
to own one of these pairs.
Sensitive ass
This was
nigga.
enough evidence to detain him once again. This also gave investigators the authority to do a thorough search of his belongings, resulting in them finding residue of Hannes's blood on his shoes, as well as in his car. Once presented with this evidence, Gunnar confessed to the murder. He also revealed that he'd been planning it for months, and even
sensitive-ass
shoplifted the
bitch.
items he intended to
Dumbass.
use to avoid
Nigga, you
purchase
stupid ass.
records linking
Nigga getting emotional and shit. You can't find another bitch, gang. Emotional ass nigga.
back to him. And while he didn't admit to it, Hilder also
RP to your husband, gang. Damn, your husband's just gone like that. RP.
suspected him of spiking her drink that night, since she usually never passed out like that. After committing the crime, he also drove to a nearby pier and dumped items used in the crime into the sea to get rid of any evidence.
Wow.
It was a well thought out plan, since he was only caught because the garbage bag he used to hide his shoe prints tore open as he walked. As for his motive, it was just as everyone had expected, with him making it clear during the investigation, stating, "I loved Hilder. She was supposed to be with me. She was not supposed to be with him."
Bitch ass
Surprisingly,
nigga.
he was found not guilty during his first trial on March 1,
Nigga, what? Yo, these judges.
2011 by reason of insanity stemming from his messed
Insanity?
up childhood. However,
I forgot about his childhood, but still, gang. Lock this nigga up, bro. Lock him up, gang.
the prosecution argued that he was fully aware of his actions and escalated the case to the Supreme Court of Iceland. Gunnar was found guilty on this second trial and was sentenced to 16 years in prison. This was
Only 16?
already
Nigga, what?
lenient
The whole nigga life is gone. 16?
given the brutality of his crime, yet he
Guess-
ended up serving
I
only
guess that's
half
just
of
how
that sentence
Sweden-
as well. He was released
Only half? He didn't even do the full 16? Fuck out of here.
under supervision in July 2019 and now works at a local warehouse.
Yo, fuck out of her. That's crazy. He didn't even do the full 16. RIP. RIP.